Not only is she back on tour, she's a champion again. Yeah! The legend. Here's Shannon O'Keefe. Yeah! Incredible. What a moment for Shannon O'Keefe.
And welcome back to beautiful Fountain Bowl here, Fountain Valley, California. We are getting ready for the round of 12 final qualifying block here at the PWBA Fountain Valley Open.
No more deliveries. Reset the pin setters to the first ball cycle. Reminder to our bowling fans that flash photography and the signing of autographs is strictly prohibited during competition. In addition, we kindly ask that you silence those cell phones to prevent any distractions to the athletes. This week, the field of play is the tiled area, and this belongs to the athletes and authorized personnel only. Please, all spectators, stay on the carpeted area. As a reminder, we do have an exclusive agreement with PBA and Extra Frame for the live streaming of all PWBA events. Please do not live stream from your personal devices. All right, bowling fans, pick out your favorite pro, cheer her on in this top 12. Athletes, arrows are up. You have a full set of pins. How about a great send-off for the top 12 of the PWBA Fountain Valley Open? Good luck, ladies.
Well, I think we're ready. Just going to get the arrows set, get things going the way we want them, need them.
The names are on the wrong side. Names are wrong. Reverse all the arrows.
Just need reverse arrows, and we'll get it going, just like that. 6 games to make the top 4.
Neil says hold on a sec. Good catch, Jim.
And our top 12 are Brandon Cote plus 538, Rocio Restrepo plus 426, Shannon O'Keefe 415, Danielle McEwen plus 371, Missy Parkin 345, Maria Jose Rodriguez, Lindsay Boomershine, Tanya Remember, Josie Barnes, Jen Higgins, Brigitte Poplar, and Liz Johnson at plus 205. So 166 pins between 4th and 12th. Only a couple players actually within 100 pins, so this could be a runaway and hide situation potentially for the top 4, but you never know. We have to play the games, and we will. We've got 6 more games coming your way right here, right now. Restrepo and Poplar, Higgins and O'Keefe. This is not match play. This is just total pins. All pins carry over from round to round. And every player will hit every pair in play. 6 pairs in play, 12 lanes, 12 players. We use them all. Why not? The lanes were re-oiled after that very exciting roll-off we had to get to this round of 12. Liz Johnson and Diana Zabialova tied. And Liz Johnson made it through. Near the mark of the 10th, and she got it. McEwen and Barnes, Parkin and Romemper. So we'll have 4 of the 6 pair in play all live. So that just means any of the exciting action will be off camera. Look at it, Gio, one way or the other. Craig Elliott and Emil Williams Jr. here in Fountain Valley, California at Fountain Bowl. Georgia Barnes front 3 back on the fresh here. New application of that oil pattern done by our friends at Kegel, from Kegel. Shows 147 back, so a big start. Definitely help our cause. We're 5 or 6 deep in the fan support department here behind the high end of the house here at Fountain Bowl that we're using. Great sport all weekend, very knowledgeable. G. Poplar, she was able to hold on to a spot in the top 12. The last couple of games went the wrong direction, but she's still here. 161 her final game. Just staying by just 2 pins. Couple of splits of strike and then sliding that 4-pin over. Got to knock it over for it to count. Sliding doesn't help. Remember, from Indonesia. Just missing by a little bit. Ashley Galante, Claire Guerrero, Verity Crawley, Kelly Kulik. The Indrati from Indonesia. You can see all the scores at PWBA.com. Click on Fountain Valley Tournament tab. And there they are. Shannon O'Keefe, last week's winner, up on Roner Park at Double Decker Lanes. In the 3 spot right now for the top 4. She's got some ladies coming after. There's a strike for Jen Higgins. Finally. Poplar trip in the 2-8. Rocio Restrepo. Tough start here, game 1 of the 6-game block. This will be our championship pair here, 45 and 46. And we've seen today lane 46 can be tough to navigate. kind of the feeling out game here. Game 1 of 6 in this round of 12. Brianna Cote, see a 5 split. Was it a Greek church conversion possibly? Not the greatest game going, but she's got a little lead. This game's not going to hurt her. She'll bounce back, no question about that. Josie Barnes, 218. Shannon O'Keefe, 198. Jen Higgins, 207. Poplar can still shoot 239. .207 for McEwen with a strike in the 10th. So no big scores, no really low scores. Not going to be a lot of movement here in game 1. Maybe a little shuffling around, but that's about it. Poplar with a chance for the highest game, 218 Josie Barnes, and Bergier's going to be 228. She'll gain a spot on Jen Higgins. Josie Barnes might gain a little bit on Tanya Rememper. Yeah, Tanya's 190s. And Lindsay Boomershine, Maria Jose Rodriguez to our far right, out of camera range. Five to go until we set that top 4. Missy Parkin is going to be in the 230s. That'll be the high game, so she will gain some ground. It's early. Very deliberate pace right now. Brandon Cote on her fill ball 170. Liz Johnston 166. Tenth frame left for Maria Jose Rodriguez. 170. Lindsay Boomershine. Into game two here in this round of 12, and we've got Missy Parkin here, local favorite, local legend with another, I'd say local legend, Scott Norton. Hey, joining us. How you doing, Scott?
Doing well, thanks.
Hey, it's good to see you. We haven't seen you for a while. It's great to see you back in the bowling center.
It's been a minute. I always enjoy coming back, especially for the ladies.
Any chance we'll see you bowling again? That's the question we want to know.
I figured there was a catch to me sitting here.
Well, nothing's free.
I don't know. Right now, it's just temporarily retired, and we're kind of taking it day by day. The lanes this afternoon look quite a bit tighter down lane than they have the rest of the week, actually.
And as you know, that seems to happen the more often you put the pattern down over and over,
Yep.
and again, not a lot of time for it to sit. It had a very short turnaround.
Exactly. And, the more times you put down the pattern, the less there is a residual house shot underneath,
So if you're in the top four, you'd like that. If you're trying
Yeah.
to chase it, you may
That's rough.
not so much. But I think Missy had the high game. What's she, 231 or something like that? What's she at?
36, yeah.
36? There we go. Brandon Cote still our leader. Rocio second. Shannon third. And Missy is now fourth, plus 381. 4 pins ahead of Danielle McEwen. We've still got 5 games to go. And I still expect to see a lot of shuffling in those couple of spots in and outside of that number currently.
Yeah, and that 710 that you just saw Tanya leave here, it was kind of one of those lazy 710s, and that's just an indicator of how tight they are down lane. And it's still 46 feet, so it's not like you can use a ball that retains a whole lot. So you're still having to use surface. But because they're a little bit tighter down lane, that's just causing the ball not to go through the pins quite as well.
I'm not sure how much you've been watching the last couple of days. I know you've been here a lot, but lane 46, especially today, there's a couple tricky spots out there. The old topography's coming into play on lane 46.
There have been some topography things I've seen on quite a few lanes. You'll get some of the ladies will get onto some pairs, and one lane will be an arrow different than the other one, and that's a little bit different than what I'm used to seeing on the guys tour, because the rev rates here are slightly lower, and you're not used to seeing quite that big a variation among each lane. But there was quite a bit this week.
Well, I thought the rev rates were slightly lower, but I got to Roner Park last week. First time I've been in a ladies event in a while, and holy cow, it's a lot more than what it used to be.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, there are some ladies that know how to get some hand in the ball, like Daria Payek.
Daria, Bree McPherson. I mean, there's even Ashley Galante. She gets after it. That's been the most impressive thing for me that I've noticed the last couple weeks is the power game across the board is definitely up several notches.
Definitely. Still waiting for our first two-handed female.
I had one in a college event 6 weeks ago.
I don't doubt it. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time as the youth have kind of grown up around it now. It's going to be more likely.
Have you ever tried it?
I have a hard enough time with my back with one hand. I can only imagine what my back would do with two.
Fair enough. Josie Barnes trying to make a run, front three. So Scott, talk a little bit about your friendship with Missy. We know it's been a long time, and you guys have been pretty tight for quite a while. How did that develop?
Well, she's basically my sister. She and I both juniors together out here in Southern California, and we met when I think we were 13, 14 maybe. So, we've known each other for, most of our lives. We've known each other. And we've been really close since we were in college. And then we were out when the women's tour folded, Missy went out on the guys tour. And so she and I were roommates out on the guys tour for a few years, which was nice. Because, you get to room with your best friend. That's always fun. It makes the bad bowling a little bit easier because you can just yell at each other.
I'm sure that's one of the aspects you might not miss too much is the travel.
I'm just going to say it's nice being at home more. It's a little different. I get to work from home, so I get to call the courts when I need to appear in court, and I just have my cat in my lap hoping he doesn't meow. That's about as bad the stress gets now.
You get a contempt of court with the cat meowing? That'd be
I don't know. There's just a cat outside the window. I don't know what to tell you.
We just
that can't happen.
I missed 7-pin there for Tanya off camera. Josie's front three stops.
Yeah, and the bucket. It's not that it's a bad shot, but it just you miss it a little bit at the bottom, or you miss it. Your angle through the front is just a little too steep, and there's just not enough recovery because they're a little bit tighter down lane. So you're having to play, the hold to the left and not, the hook to the right. Whereas this morning, it seemed like, especially as you went later in the block, there was a little kick off the spot later in the block.
Yeah, there were some great scores this morning.
Yeah.
For this early afternoon.
Oof. And that's hard too, because she really hasn't thrown a bad shot yet. She struck, and then she had kind of a. This is Tanya we're talking about. And then a weak 7-10, and then a strike, and then a shaker 7, and now a ring 10. And that could be front 5, and instead we're, staring 180 in the face, without a little bit of help.
So I think one of the toughest games we've seen all week was the last game last night in the second round of qualifying. A young lady from Indonesia, Putih.
Mm-hmm.
She just needed 2 teens to get in, 5, 10 pins, and a 7.
Oh,
and the rest strikes.
That's the worst.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's just one of those, like,
Kept throwing it there, but
you
just-
can't, it's, you know, especially when they're a little tougher, you know, you don't want to give away the pocket. And so it's hard because you want to manipulate your ball motion enough to get it going through the pins the right direction. But, you know, when the scoring pace isn't high, you also don't want to start giving away the pocket trying to, you know, fish for that perfect ball reaction. So it's a really hard balancing act you have to do. And Missy's kind of been doing this the entire week. Oh. Missy's been doing this the entire week where, you know, she's kind of playing that hold to the left. And where everyone else was getting their ball to kind of face up towards the pocket, she was kind of playing the little fader a little more so than most. That is the first time I've seen her stone 8 all weekend, though.
Well, her spare games is what keeps her in tournaments. I think was it last week up in Rohnert Park we saw her on the grind, just spare them to death.
Yeah, that was rough to watch. I was watching extra frame at the last game too, and she just barely missed it. And, you know, wrapping that head pin around the 10 on a washout, that's, especially after you've grinded all day. Yeah, you see, Josie's ball motion, ball has a little more motion down lane than Missy's does.
Is Missy still throwing 16?
Yes. I don't know why, but it works for her.
Because she can.
Yeah.
And the rest of us can't.
Yeah, I can't. Oops, that was a. Yeah. See, and that's the hard part is that sometimes when you're playing these angles that are very closed, it just takes ever so slight of a early turn to, you know, kind of have disaster happen. It doesn't take much.
Yeah, the scoring paces definitely fell off pretty quick. Lindsay Boomershine, front 4-9 spare.
And that's
Pick up some ground.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good try too. And over on 49 we have Maria with that same kind of weak 7-10. It's just you're just not seeing the ball go through the pins quite the same way you were earlier. And I noticed a lot of the girls are using more surface this afternoon than even this morning, and certainly yesterday.
And what's the reasoning behind that, do you think?
Well, again, you know, the rev rates are a little lower, so you need the ball to start up and get going the correct direction. The problem being that after about another game or so, you're probably going to see some transition where, you know, people are going to have to start migrating left even more because the fronts are going to get a little bit burnt up. And that could lower the scoring pace even further because, you know, the girls don't quite have the rev rate to get the ball back around the corner. And again, the back ends are pretty tight. The front ends are hooking. That doesn't generally make for high scores.
We saw a few ladies really get into 5th, 6th arrow towards the end of the block this morning, though.
Yeah. Most of the ones
Everybody
I
looks
saw
a
were
little tentative
bowling
right
well.
now. Nobody's getting after it like they did this morning.
No.
Very, very tentative.
No, and again, like I you know, and from my perspective, I can understand that because, you know, you bowl, especially these ladies who have been bowling well the entire weekend, are used to seeing their ball turn at a certain part of the lane, and they're, you know, every time you put the pattern down, it's a little bit tighter down lane, so your ball hook's just a little bit less and a little bit less, and those shots that were kicking the 10 are now flat 10ing, and, you know, we're talking about a national title here, so you start squeezing just a little more, trying to manipulate and fit and again, you know, the scoring pace is low, so you prioritize, you know, keeping the ball in play over trying to throw a 7-bagger.
Yeah, risk reward.
That's just, and she's, again, another good shot and another wrap 10. And that's more the shot that you're going to want. A lot of the girls are going to want to see that higher flush because you're not going to leave, because the ball isn't going through the pins at quite as steep an angle, you're not going to see a whole lot of 9 pins. So high flush is probably going to be a much better carry percentage, and because, again, the angles of entry are a little bit lower, you'll probably see some more trip 4s as well. great shot. I think the thing that impresses me most, because I don't get to see the girls as often as I'd like. They're only out in the West for a month or so, and then they go back out East. And it just impresses me so much that they've been out here for, this is their 3rd year that the tour's been back?
Fourth.
Fourth.
Yeah.
And just knowing that they've had the ability to learn transition and breakdown, because some of the ladies that were out when the tour was on before, they already knew. But you know, a lot of the younger girls, they had to kind of learn these last few years. It was a learning process, and watching them grow and develop and see how they've started to manipulate ball motion is really impressive. Same thing there. It was a good shot. It's just that's not quite high enough when your ball doesn't have enough angle, and then you're kind of hoping the 6 finds a way out of the gutter to knock that 10. Because that ball was on line. Going to see a lot of those 10 pins.
You see a look on her face. That's 4 9 counts in a row.
Yep.
She's thinking, what do I have to do?
Mm-hmm.
Something is the answer.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you know, there aren't as many games. We're coming down to the wire here, so you know, this is when you got to start taking those risks, because if you don't ever want to wait until it's at the end and you have to double. You would like to start figuring things out a little bit earlier.
We saw Kayla Bandy do that this morning, you know, in game 2 of the block. She realized she needed to make up 150 pins. She jumped left quick. I mean, a couple arrows.
I noticed.
And had 230s that game.
Yeah.
But then going to the next pair just wasn't there. But she did what she had to do. Give it a shot. Right, if the field's averaging 210 and you're averaging 211, you're not making up any ground. So.
That's right. See if Tanya can get her ball motion a little bit. Ball needs to pick up just a little sooner, but not so soon it goes to the face. It's or later. Well, yeah, just keep trying to change that angle through the pocket, and it just doesn't seem to want to cooperate. I don't think she's thrown a bad shot yet. That's now 5 9 counts in a row for Lindsay. This is kind of what I expected, though. I expected the carry percentage to start going down as the girls started migrating in, especially during the transition period. That was much better. See how that it hooked up faster. It was higher flush.
Smile. How about the job that Purvis has done with that team from Indonesia?
Oh, man. They are just... Missy crossed with one of the Indonesian girls. And, man, the way they can manipulate ball motion is just incredible. She just is so solid. They all are. I mean, I've known Tanya for a while, but I don't know a lot of the other Indonesian girls, but man, do they throw the ball well.
Fundamentally sound.
Oh, yeah. Well, and your coach's Purvis is probably going to be fundamentally sound.
There's a quality shot.
Yeah. That was no-brainer.
Have you had a chance to do something like this in front of a home crowd, Scott, where you got half the bowling center behind you?
You know, I think I might have bowled one stop here when I was actually out on tour. I think there was like a Cheetah Championship or something here after the Tournament of Champions or the World Series or something. I don't remember. And it was nice. It was too bad that I didn't get to do it more often. I really enjoyed myself. It was nice. You would think, you know, it's just more pressure, but I think it's really helpful.
You get a little energy to feed off of, right?
Oh,
Wow, there's a break.
That was a break. But again, that's exactly what I was talking about. With the lower entry angle, you're more likely to see tripped fours because of the way the head pin will come off the wall. And see there, her entry angle was a little bit steeper, and that's why the head pin didn't quite come off the wall as much as Missy's did. Generally, the key to tripping 4 pins is either lots and lots and lots and lots of entry angle or none. And as we all know, since we're all bowlers, sometimes it's just about luck too.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it's just part of the game.
Yep. Well, I mean, there's luck, but then putting yourself in position to get that luck.
Of course,
So,
of course.
I mean, that's always the fun conversation. Well, they were lucky. Well, no, they threw a pretty good shot.
Yeah, and they threw a few to get there too.
I mean, if you hit the 3-6 pocket in the face and carry, well, that's luck.
Yeah. If you hit the 6-10 pocket in the face, it's even more luck. But I mean, if you're leaving a 4 pin on this, you're close, and you're close enough to maybe get a break.
Josie Barnes 224, Danielle McEwen 213.
No.
Tanya finishing up here.
Oh.
Gonna get a break on this one? Roll it? No. Missy another 230 game, so
Yeah, she'll
gonna
keep
pick up a
moving
few
on
more pins.
Shannon O'Keefe shooting 167 with a strike. Brianna Cote 131 in the 7th on a double in the 8th and 9th.
So Missy's gonna catch Shannon.
Yeah, it seems like maybe. And then Rocio has got about 180 pace. 129 in the 7th on a spare in the 8th.
So Brandon's still going to hang on to that lead. It's 90 pins over Rocio. Missy's going to go around Shannon. We'll have some shuffling of spots again around that top 4 number. And we've got 4 to go. Nice game. Lindsay Boomershine in the 230s as well.
And you know, you see a game like Tanya's here that's going to end up being 170, and you look at that. If you're not here watching, you look at that and you go, "What did she do? What, did she just bowl bad?" And we've sat here and she didn't throw a bad shot hardly the whole game. It just, you know, sometimes she did miss a single pin, but you have a 7-10 and you can't catch a double. You can't even catch a strike. That's an easy recipe for 170, 180, and it was not worth 170. That game was probably worth 220.
And those are the games I'm sure you don't miss at all.
Oh man, not even a bit, because I've had my fair share of flat 70 about 100 times in a game. My rev rate is lower than half the women out here, so I know all about the flat corners.
2 games in, and we've got 4 to go. Scott, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Always good talking to you. Great to see you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Maybe someday we'll see you in an event.
Maybe. And
All
if not, it will always be back here.
All right. Thanks
Thank
a lot.
you.
Always good to talk to Scott Norton, share his knowledge. Working full-time out here as a lawyer in Southern California. Retired from the tour life. Final couple of 10th frames underway right here, right now. ran at 221. The Johnson tripping 4 going to have a little 2-0 game, 208 with a strike. This is Johnson Brandon Cote joining us down here on 43 and 4. 4 this time. Brigitte Poplar. Sierra Streppel. Maria Jose Rodriguez, Lindsey Boomerstein also to our left. And the other half of the field is to our right. .113 pin lead for Brianna Cote. Missy Parkin jumps to second. Rocio Restrepo in third, now plus 402. Danielle McEwen in fourth at plus 390. So Brianna Cote will just take it to the house. She's 4 games away from being tournament leader. 113 pin lead. Shannon O'Keefe is 12 pins behind Danielle. And then there's a big jump down to sixth in Josie Barnes. Josie's 112 behind Shannon O'Keefe. So right now, unless somebody rattles off a 250 game, we've got 4 players battling out for 3 spots. But one thing we've learned at the PWBA events, don't count anybody out until it's over. Josie Barnes 442, Missy Parkin 471. That's the 2 best games so far. That's why she's jumped up into second position. Liz Johnson. Boom. Danielle McEwen, she gets strong in middle of the blocks, and here we are in game 3. I guess I would call it the middle of a 6-game block. And another 4-pin for this. So lost that one right, stayed there, 2, 4, 8, 10. We have not seen too many of these this week. Sure, Brigitte would have been happy with not seeing any at all. Unfortunately, there it is. Round of 12, 6-game block here. PWBA Fountain Valley Open. Craig Elliott, Emil Williams Jr. And just a few ladies now, really with a legitimate shot at that top 4. But if somebody can rattle off a big game right here, 250s or so, you never know. Shannon O'Keefe, she's already in that top 4. She's got a big game going. That's why we play the game, because anything can happen.
That is why we play the game.
Plus, it gives us something to talk about. If we just skipped all the games, we wouldn't have to be here, which wouldn't be any fun at all. 10 Higgins. That was fun. Double. Josie Barnes looking to move up a little bit more. She's 442, second high block through 2 games. Spare 5-bagger Josie. A nice chat with Scott Norton the last game. Scott's out here watching his best friend Missy compete in front of all her other family and friends. And you see Brianna with my least favorite split of all time, the 410. They both wobbled, but they didn't fall. Josie, double turkey. Josie can finish this game off. She's going to do what we just mentioned. Make it interesting. Give herself a chance. But this is the kind of game it takes. Right now.
Yeah, she's looking at max at 290.
And on the other side of that spectrum, Liz New coming in. She had a long road to try to get there.
Rodriguez down on the string as well. So 4-bagger, spare strike, spare 4-bagger.
Missy Parkin fan club. You know where they are in the bowling center all times.
They're everywhere. And they should be. And the other part of that is, you know, they're fans of the other players as well. Talked to many fans this week just about who they're rooting for. But, you know, we knew coming in and talked about it, of course, in our press conference this week with Missy. Obviously one she was looking forward to, certainly circled on the calendar last year as well. And one chance that most family and friends would have an opportunity to see her compete would be here. And she is not disappointed.
Not a bit. Jen Higgins, left side of your viewing screen. Take that. Just a little light in our bucket for Josie. Don't want to miss this one.
Yeah, she'd love to have that one back.
You know, Emil, in darts, if you throw the dart and it bounces off the board and you catch it, you can throw it again. Doesn't hit the ground. So why not in bowling? If you let it go, run down there and get it and bring it back. Can we institute that rule?
Yeah, some of our players and bowling in general, you know, they can get upwards of 22, 23 miles an hour. So that'd be pretty impressive if you could get down there.
Run after it.
In time. I mean, without the, you know, the flash capabilities to think about
Oh,
comics.
there you go. Now my favorite Marvel superhero is going to be Flash, so I can have that power.
Good spare there for Jose. That is a good power to have, though.
Well, it's going to be in the 260s for Josie. And they'll get up in the 330 range, where Shannon O'Keefe is at 378. And she's going to make up about 50 pins on her. That's what she needed to do. She was 112 behind Shannon coming in. She's going to pick up 50-some. Took half of that deficit away in one game. Well done, Josie. Maria Rodriguez still has 250s possible as well, trying to do the same thing that Josie just did. Excuse me, 249 possible for Maria.
Shot there from Burgett.
So that, again, Birgit, is that the name you, have you asked her about that one? Because I've always been
Oh, yeah.
Birgit.
Absolutely.
Birgit, all right. I'll try to relearn that one. And sometimes you stuck with a name the way you say it, it's hard to fix. I think I can do it.
Like, she made TV last year as well. So you got to know it at that point.
Sure.
And actually, Dave Ryan was very, I don't know if he was fluent in German, but he had plenty of experience in speaking. I had no problems with her name.
10 bend and go. Birgit has 243 possible. She's at plus 213. And 177 behind Daniel McEwen starting this game.
Birgit back-to-back round of 12s.
She just hung on for this one. 161 that last game to get in by just a couple of pins, but it's all it takes. Just one. For Liz Johnson, a roll-off.
It's been, I believe it's been Liz, Shannon O'Keefe, and Danielle McEwen who have made a round of 12 in the first 3 events here, all 3.
It's a way to start the season.
Maria has made 2 out of 3. DZ3. Wait, double checking on last week. Was Diane in the round of 12 last week?
I don't recall.
She was not.
Well, you made all 3 round of 12s.
I did.
I'm 2 for 3. I like that percentage.
You are correct. I like that. There's a good chance I might be 4 for 4. Potentially. Although there's no technical round of 12 next week.
Birgit. A smile.
Sometimes it is rare to see some players smile during competition.
I smile all the time. It's not that difficult. That'll be 220 what? 1. Or Birgit. 217 possible for Miss Rocio. Liz Johnson 209. Brianna Cote on her field ball here. Gonna give a couple pins back. Really not gonna hurt that much. And Rocio will finish up 10th frame here of game 3. 6-game block. PWBA Fountain Valley Open. Three more to go. Set that top 4. And I like that this is our step ladder pair now, because lane 46 has been tricky. She didn't miss that by much, but it hung. But if that's a board, 2 boards left, that could snap hook and go Brooklyn. Gotta get the feet in the right spot, get the right piece of equipment in your hand, right speed, right angle, right tilt, right surface, all that stuff, and all of that, it's pretty easy. She's gonna make this.
Oh, you anticipate, as you mentioned, some that being the challenging part.
Well, even that ball looked like it backed up a little bit. And that was, up 22, 23 all the way down. So there's still some oil in the middle of that lane that these players have to navigate correctly.
I had some players also say that very same sentiment. Some of their plastic balls that have backed up and they've missed some spares that they thought they made.
And we got Missy Parkin coming this way. Let's take a little look at earlier Missy in the round of 32.
Missy's using a ball she hasn't used all week. She's using that Paradox Black. We hit it with quite a bit of surface this morning. The bowling balls that she was throwing during the week just aren't tipping over, so we use something a little more asymmetry. She's keeping it close to the pocket, and she has a lot of confidence in this building. So all that added up equals 930 for the first 4, so we're looking to keep that wave going.
And Missy's had the best block so far through the first couple of games. We'll have that 3-game total shortly. Joji Barnes might have gone around her a little bit for 3-game series honors, but it's about where we are in the standings when we're done with 6 games. There's a pretty good example on that bucket for Tanya and how difficult the spares can be. That looked like she had it made perfect off her hand, and right before it got there, the ball tipped up and just about chopped the 5 off. Rocio gets the 4, but not the 9. Brianna looking with the spare here in game number 4. Missy Parkin 697 the first 3, and she has 80 pins behind Brianna Cote right now. Fourth lead, Danielle McEwen 29 pins behind Missy at plus 413. Rocio Restrepo at plus 396. 14 back, Shannon O'Keefe. Josie Barnes now at plus 331. 51 behind Shannon. Another 33 pins back, Maria Jose Rodriguez, Lindsay Boomershine, Birgit Poplar, and Tanya Romemper, the top 10. Yeah, Josie, 107 over the front 3, 707 series out of the gate in the 6-game block. Making a move. Still 65 behind Rocio.
So be a fight to the finish as always. It's exactly what you want.
Well, in game 3 this morning, we were looking like it's going to be one spot for the rest of the field the way it started, and then things kind of leveled out, and now it's getting interesting. Ball's got to push a little, and it did. Strike for Missy Parkin. Lindsay Boomershine, front 3. Lindsay is at plus 273. 123 behind that 4th position. And 10 pins is got to go again.
Don't laugh at me, Craig.
Always with you. Just thinking, I tell you what, I'm getting a little tired of winning here watching these games the last couple days. These athletes, what are they in game 28 since yesterday morning? Lots of practice. Who says they're not athletes? I never will.
Now Saturdays always, both days are tough. Saturdays I think might be a little tougher because of the slightly earlier start.
A little more mental grind, right? I mean, every shot's important when you start getting to when you're making cuts and not making the next round. I think Terry Muse is one of everything's more deliberate right now. Missy not giving up on that number 1 spot. Just going to keep on striking. Rings a 10. And Brianna, spare strike, spare strike, spare. Well, this should be a strike. Lindsay gets one back. Knocks them all down. Until this last couple of weeks, couple of days, is taking its toll on Lindsay. She's grabbing a hip a couple times. Physically, mentally, it's a grind out here.
Absolutely, and for Lindsay, it's she had her first child, of course, last year, and she's been working back and making sure she was ready for this season. Only bowled she bowled limited events last year, and even in the limited events had some great success. I could go back to the Go Bowling Players Championship as a very good example.
Liz Johnson, Hall of Famer, gets to this position by winning a roll-off. Try to keep moving up as far as she can. And another 4-pin. No, not just yet. Not just yet. Maria Jose Rodriguez talking with her team, her ball rep here, and trying to get around one and get the lay off a little bit, float through the front part of the lane. See how that strategy works out for her. Here on lane 46.
Missy Parkin. Talked about the local support for Missy, but I don't think there's anything more that she would want than to be and really at this point what would officially be a PWBA champion. One of the queens when the tour was still not around, not back yet. So she does certainly own a major title. But I think just the distinction of being a professional Women's Bowling Association champion, something that she's dreamed about since she was a young tyke.
Yeah, great point. I guess I never thought of that because the Queen's title, but as you say, that wasn't really technically a tour title at the time, right?
It's one of those things. You know, we still obviously they still had major championships and events to compete in, but you know, the logo wasn't there yet. It wasn't back, and it's been back for a while. Missy was the first person to become a member when the tour was relaunched. So yeah, keep that for your trivia.
I will. I wasn't going to tell anybody, but now you've told everybody.
I know, but
we'll have to wait a while.
We've used it a couple times in a did you know, for example. But if you find a good group, maybe that you're just bringing them along in the sport, you can use that. And then the other angle would be having a family. And the Parkins now a family of 3. So a win here would just, you know, would complete what I would think would be things she's dreamed about.
We'll see with the big game here in Game 4. Take a look at this one. Spare. 6 in a row. And let's see another spare there. This one, 260s. And she would take that gladly right now and try to get some separation between her and Shannon O'Keefe. And what is Shannon doing down there? 2 teens max, 214. .204. So Rocio's going to get some separation, and Shannon's going to start watching out for Josie and some of the other players coming up from behind and joining the pack. Danielle McEwen. She has a max of 186. Open in the 9th, 156. She's at plus 413. So Rocio is going to go around McEwen.
You know, Craig, it's a little odd, but and again, something I thought would happen. But, you know, Liz making 3 consecutive round of 12 appearances, which certainly not uncommon, but not going to have a title yet. The 1 step ladder final appearance, of course, finished 3rd at in Las Vegas. But kind of at this point last season, minus the first event. Also, keep in mind that we were still taping shows as well. So that was that small wait, but theoretically, you know, Sacramento Open was a title at this point, if you think about it. And she runner-up at the Queens.
Well, wasn't she 12th last week? Didn't she last in and then a roll-off to get in the top 12 this week?
Yep.
So I think it was Missy that, Liz had to double and something like that in the 10th because Missy missed that washout. So just making the top 12 2 weeks in a row.
And that's, again, not a... It's more, that's just an observation when we talk about the dominance of Liz a year ago.
Right.
Which, it's, it's so difficult to repeat that type of dominance. But I also think that the players are consistently getting better, and we expected to see, maybe a few more or some different names maybe each week in the round of 12, and of course you would still have your those you would anticipate to be in the round of 12. Wow, what an interesting break that was. Or non-break, I should say, that you saw on 45. Good way to end it, I guess, on a fill shot at least for Maria. But even 200 there. Big game for Rocio Restrepo. Currently in 4th. Danielle McEwen shot 175.
Yeah, Rocio's not in 4th anymore.
And she is not in 4th, is correct. And let's see, Missy's going to shoot 220 at least.
228.
228.
So Missy will go to 470. Garcia's going to move off 1 spot. And the rest, we'll wait for our scores officially. We're close to that 2 to go. Tanya's at plus 215, 230s to get up close to that 250 mark. That's still 150 back with 2 to play. Well, that would have really helped Lindsay. She's at plus 273. 35 will get her to just the 300 number. She'll be not quite 100 behind with 2 to go. It's doable. Miranda's going to be 198. So Missy's going to keep making up ground. She's going to make up 30 pins. She'll only be 50 out of the lead now with 2 to go. Well, you think Missy doesn't know what's going on right now?
She knows.
Well, she knows.
The players know.
So coming for you.
They know what's up. They know what's happening. But, it's a similar situation a little bit to last week. Verity Crawley. They had the top seed, but, kind of late about this time, round of 12, there was some, there could have been some movement and a little uproar as Shayna Ung was threatening to overtake Verity Crawley for that top seed, and that is what we have here.
Rocia's going to get to 454.
So you said someone was at 470. Who was that?
Missy.
Missy at 470, Rocio 454.
Danielle's going to back up a little bit.
And Cote will be at 520. Okay.
2 to go. Game 5.
I don't think Missy would be upset if she had to win one game
No,
in front of her home crowd,
I agree.
family and friends.
Player movement again. Maria Jose Rodriguez, she's ready to start game 5. Lindsay Boomer Shines right next to her. They're going to go.
Off and running.
The Johnson Brandon Cote coming right in front of our booth here. Also to our left, Missy Parkin, Tanya Remember.
Very good shot there for Cote to start this game. Game 5 of 6 in the round of 12. 51, Jen Higgins getting the late kick on the 10. Interesting day. If we go back to when we started this this competition on Friday, Craig, and we look at who's in the top 12. You know, we had a couple players really separate themselves early. Obviously, Brianna Cote being one. Leading after round 1, then Shannon O'Keefe. Very nice round 2 to just edge Bree by 16 pins. But so Cote has been first, second after qualifying or each round. First this morning. And of course has the opportunity to try to hold on to this top seed for the stepladder finals. Missy Parkin has been near. Mentioned Shannon O'Keefe, and Rocio, I would say, also was consistently in the top 5 for most of our competition.
Shannon can't kick the 10 out. It's a different afternoon for Brianna Cote, though. This morning, even yesterday, it's like everything she did seemed to work. And now she just can't kick the 4s and the 10s and a few splits. She was making splits earlier. It's just a little bit. It's not a big difference between being in really great shape and being where she is now, where she's getting chased by a couple different players. It happened really fast.
I think if we've noticed anything in regards to how the format change is affecting anything, obviously with no bonus pins, that's an automatic item that would be affected or something you would mark off on your bullet point list, because players can make surges from even further in the standings with a good win-loss record. But without that bonus, without the bonus pins and just total pins, the thing that we've noticed, I think, and let me know if you agree, is it seems like, if you get out to a good lead, there's the possibility that you run and hide. But each time we've said that, or at least that we know that it could happen, it has become closer, and kind of right as the round of 12 begins. And that's what we have right now as well.
Well, Brianna's still our leader. 50 pins ahead of Missy. Rocio is 16 behind that at 454, and then Danielle at plus 388. So a little separation between that third and fourth. 4 pins back of the cut, Shannon O'Keefe. 62 behind that, Josie Barnes. Lindsay Bubishine at plus 308. That's 80 behind in 7th. 90 back, Maria Jose Rodriguez. And then we start getting into the big triple digits after that. Tanya, Brigitte, Liz. So Maria at 90 back of Danielle right now in 8th. Be awful hard to go much past that, looking at anybody that can make a run. Having to pass that many players in just 2 games. But definitely some changes in the top 3 can happen, no question. Well, but then I look up and I see 3-bagger, 3-bagger, 3-bagger. It's funny how that happens. A 210 and a 710 for Lindsay, and then the light shaker, they all fall down now. Of course they do. When you don't expect a strike, it does.
Big thanks to Jeff Goodger for all of his hard work this week. Also been monitoring things for the last probably hour and a half.
Missy Parkin, 236, 235, 226, 228, 925. 4-game block. By far the highest 4-game block. 898 for Josie Barnes. Josie's got a lot of pins to make up. We got a front 4 for Josie. Gone on the end.
Front 4 for Restrepo and Imbuta Getz.
Just give everybody front 4. That's the way it's starting to look right now. Ladies are getting down the last game and a half. Even 2/3, I guess. Taking the shots they need to give themselves opportunities.
Front 5 for Barnes. Not trying to look ahead, Craig, but man, I'll be very interested to see how where players, whoever is on the show, likes to play on the fresh. I mean, this is game 5, and watching what Brianna Cote is doing, watching what Rocio is doing. Talked about what could potentially await the players with maybe lane 46, maybe being a hair tighter, potentially.
Well, if it was me, my feet would not be right of that big dot in the center. And more than likely, the ball not getting anything farther than right of 10 at that rangefinder down lane between third and fourth arrow, even on the fresh. Because we've seen OB, when you try to play direct straight up the boards early on, like we saw even today, it just got squirrely. And you have to be so exact. Not that there's nothing there, but the whole idea is to try to create some sort of area somewhere on the lane. Because nobody can hit the same spot every single time. And on the fresh, playing straight, that's what you have to do.
Maybe even more so where they elect to play, but maybe where they elect to try to break the lanes down based on what
and
you
how they
just
break
said.
them down. Yeah. Not just where, but what they use to break them down. A lot of factors in play. The chess game when you get to that step ladder final. And you don't think that Missy Parkin and Shannon O'Keefe, some of those veterans, have any tricks? I'll bet they do. Josie still stringing him down there?
Yeah, front six. Folks, make your plans to be with us. Step ladder finals. Chelsea leaves a 10-pin in the 7th frame, but she's looking at what's 260, followed with 190, and then potentially back in the 260 plus range.
We have to make up ground on Danielle, who's on her pair. She'll make up a little bit, but not all of it. She's 60-some back. Shannon's struggling a bit here. O'Keefe, that is. 180s, 190s pace. There's the trepo. Still looking 260s possible, 210 split. Missy Parkin also pacing 180s, 190s here in the 7th frame. That's good news for Brianna. She's doing the same. Well, for Poplar, even if she shoots 279, she's more than likely would have to have about 300 the next game. Do it. Make it interesting. .298 high game of the tournament so far. Emil, I think these last couple weeks prove that you don't need 300 games to make tournaments interesting, make them exciting. We haven't had one in a couple of tournaments, but it's still been pretty good.
No, you don't. All you need is, I think you just need a decent scoring pace and a playable lane condition. But even then, the best players in the world will still make it interesting, even if it's tough. And when I say tough, I mean like almost unbearable tough, as in can't figure it out at all type tough. Or last year Sonoma County tough.
Or me bowling league is kind of what you're saying, right?
Or me. Or my practice on Wednesday tough. Oh yeah, I gotta remember to put my bowling balls in the car.
I don't want to leave them here.
Maybe I should.
Maybe. Restrepo after that 210, getting back on it here. Still 245.
Well, Josie can strike here. She'll be in the 270s. Shot there for Rowe. Continue to lead now. Wrap 10s. Barnes, 11th shot. High flush. And Josie is now in the 270s.
Get her up to plus 400. There's only a few players in that area right now. She'll be one of them. Shannon O'Keefe. She max at 193. Josie's going to go around Shannon.
I think I mentioned earlier in the week, well, yesterday, that nice job. Get back to that in a moment. 279 officially for Josie Barnes in Game 5. Keep in mind, for those of you scoring at home, if you've been watching the previous couple weeks, in Game 5 last week, Shannon O'Keefe shot 277 to get in position to make the round of 4 in the stepladder finals. And of course, she not only did that and went on to win the title. So, depending on what happened, as you talk about a stubborn 4-pin.
Seen that a couple times on that lane.
They did a
Same
slide
thing.
to the left right there, or our right. Surprised they didn't do the cha-cha slide. But keep in mind what Josie's doing. It may have been the game. You may look back on. Probably add in the 260 game that she shot 2 games ago as well. But in regards to Brianna Cote, I mentioned yesterday just how, I think she is kind of easily to go under the radar, even though she is a champion. Won the Lexington Open in 2016. Went through little struggles early in the season last year, but definitely didn't have the year that she would have liked. Battled through some things, made some, dropped ball weight, went from 15 to 14, mid-season to see if that would give her a different look. It did, and she had some great success at the end. But I think any player with one title at the moment, they certainly want to win too. And not just because obviously they want to win, but I think, that multi-time titleist kind of gives you that extra fuel, so to speak, that you need, and to feel great obviously about, hey, all this work that I've been putting in, has been paying off. You want to win multiple times. You want to win as many as you can, obviously, and you won't win them all, but I think 2 sounds better than 1.
Absolutely. And a heck of a confidence booster. She won't be going on the radar much longer. She keeps bowling like this.
No, and she's not really that, but it's when in relation, if you compare it to, the Liz and Shannon O'Keefe and Danielle McEwen and Kelly, you know what I mean? You get to Brianna Cote at some point, and I think I'm sure she can make it happen to where start talking about Brianna Cote because she's been good for a very long time. First player to win 4 Player of the Year awards, Division I at the NCAA level at Central Missouri. She's won been a high sport league average, had high series several times, women national awards, different things like that.
So you're saying she's kind of good?
Absolutely. And I think this type of performance, even at this moment in time, just from what she's done so far, lets you know that, okay, maybe I should be paying attention more to Brianna Cote as well as everyone else.
Here he gets 257.
Enough to make it a little, make it slightly interesting in her favor.
Yeah, 300 in help. But yes, slightly interesting is exactly what that would be.
Big shot there for Cote. Missy Parkin, who was struggling this game. We get to 182. She's going to give some pins back.
Yeah, Shannon gave some back. Missy giving some back. Rocio had a chance to really gain some ground. And she's going to end up just in the high teens.
She did.
20s.
And you don't see her score, but she went front 4, 10 pin, 10 pin, split, 10 pin, 10 pin, 10 pin. Feel it. You kind of see it on Bree's face a little bit too. She knows it's close. She doesn't want to give up the top seed. That's going to be a heck of a game for Rowe to only shoot potentially 213.
Yeah, and she could have really made a run and potentially ran down Bree on that one, but that almost just have a good solid game. But that was a big finish for Bree. The way things happen those last few frames for the other players gives her a little bit of breathing room now between first and second. .210 for Rowe. That's plus 464. So put her up in the second. And 1 to go. We have that white flag. Final game, round of 12, right here. PWBA Fountain Valley Open. Again, great fan support this week. They're jam-packed behind us, hanging off the rafters almost. Knowledgeable fans. Of course, you see all those great sponsors on the masking units. Make this tour possible. And all the other people behind the scenes as well. Jen Higgins, Shannon O'Keefe, Josie Barnes, Danielle McEwen. And this is actually kind of you could call a position round match here with these two ladies, Danielle and Josie. They're going to be, I think, 4-5 in the standings. 4-5, 3-4, somewhere in that range. Of course, no bonus pins, but they can both get in, of course. Give it a chance. This could be the opening match in the stepladder, right back on the same pair. Possibilities are endless. Brianna Cote 5'7", Restrepo plus 460. And you can 4-4, Jackie 365. Brigitte Poplar plus 285. Even 300 not be enough. Shannon O'Keefe will need a huge game. So Josie, Missy, Danielle, and Rocio. Battling out. 4 players for 3 spots. Unless Shannon comes up with something here. She starts with a double. There's no give up on her. We know that. She's going to fight till the end. She needs a big game. And she's going to go around Josie as well. So we've got Josie, Danielle, Rocio, and Shannon right in front of us. And Missy's right there. Is Josie made a ladder yet? Remember?
This year? She is a Rochester Open.
Well then, yes.
That is the TV appearance, championship round appearance to this point. Of course, the first year, second one, she had 6 first-time winners. I'll tell you more to it.
Strikes are everywhere.
Yeah, front five over on 51 and 52.
Yeah, Marianne. Oh, too late for them, but still finish, and there's something to be said for that. Finishing strong. Let's Marianne up now in the hands. You know you can finish something. Daniel can step out of. So Josie is 41 behind Missy Parkin. Shannon O'Keefe 77 behind Missy Parkin. Missy strike, spare, double. Mariana starting. For that spare, so good shape. Yeah, 257 the max for Shannon O'Keefe and Parstein 181. She leads the 10 pin here. So Barnes there and 9 pin. You kid? Goodness gracious, that could be the show that keep her out of time. Wow. The spear machine, Missy Parkin. We started last week and again here today. Just doesn't give an inch. Not all.
Very well could be, but
A great follow through extension and get out of there, 4-pin, and that deserves a smile. Why not?
so cool. They seem pretty exciting. The one that climbed immediately, just that time we got. I think she had an opportunity to be one of those and fell into the group. Steph Ladders had an opportunity. Needed a double. Got the first, couldn't get the second.
A little update on our Rocio with triple, spare, double, spare, 3 spare, double, and 63 pin for Brianna. So it's pretty solid. She will be our turn leader. That open in frame 5 for Danielle. She's only 3 pins ahead of Missy Parkin, 4 ahead of Josie Barnes. Actually, I'll just sit right here. More update than that. Missy Parkin. Not sure what hit that 7 pin, but it fell over. Must strike for Shannon O'Keefe. Wow, that was really, really good off her hand. Rocio already in the 2 teens. She has a 19 pin lead over Danielle McEwen. Another strike for Missy Parkin. Brandon Cote looks like she wants to just shoot 270s. take a break. Tell the rest of the players come get me, and then now it's been. Let's get no help whatsoever. Shannon O'Keefe max is be plus 401. Josie started at that. She passed it, so Shannon not going to have a chance to go back-to-back titles. Brianna will be the 1 seed. Missy's pretty well locked up a spot, but Danielle McEwen now is the one that needs to keep an eye on Josie Barnes, and they're the same pair, so it should be crazy to keep tabs on what's happening. She has a 44-pin lead. Starting. Looks high. Plus. You see Missy with a 6-pin. Missy with the conversion. She's in the 220s. We can't catch either player now. Most Josie Barnes can get to is 448, and Missy Parkin is already at 50. Even with nothing else there in the 10th. See that 210. 227, Danielle McEwen. Plus 472. Well, this is a game that really could have been for Josie. Started strong. A couple of tough taps there. Frame 6, 7, and 8. Take 242 for Brianna. More than enough. So, Emil, after all that excitement, top four, looks like you're staying the same?
You just never
No, but I'll tell you what, 5 games, anything could have happened.
Yeah, you just never know. And that's part of the intrigue.
Rocio Restrepo. Couple of spares, couple of strikes, strikes. You got a bucket. Danielle has a chance for that 2 seed, depending on what happens here in the 9th and 10th. Rocio makes that bucket. far left of your screen, lane 41, you'll see Rocio's ball go down the lane. Eight on this shot, and she's your 2 seed. Multi-frame live step ladder final, 5 p.m. Eastern. 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern. And that is more than 8. Of course, our unofficial numbers: Brianna, Rocio, Danielle, and Missy Parkin for top 4. We'll hang out for a second and get that official number, but I think we're pretty close on what we've got. Emil and live stepladder final in 45 minutes or so, 50 minutes. Brianna, Rocio, Danielle, and Missy looks to be a top 4. We'll get things. It'll be a new streaming link on Extra Frame here, bolting Extra Frame for the stepladder final. Thanks to all those sponsors again you see at the end of those lanes on the masking. And we appreciate everybody for watching. We got more bowling coming your way shortly. The live stepladder final. 8 p.m. 5 low. We'll let you know. Thanks for watching.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to you your top 4 for the PWBA Fountain Valley Open Stepladder Final. Your number 4 qualifier here from Laguna Hills, California, Missy Parkin. Her opponent in the opening match, our number 3 qualifier from Stone Point, New York, Danielle McQuinn. The winner of that will go on to face our number 2 qualifier from Colombia, Rocio Restrepo. And the winner of that match will then face our tournament leader from Red Rock, Arizona, Brianna Cote. All right, bowling fans, these are your top 4 finalists for the Extra Frame Stepladder Finals of the 2018 PWBA Fountain Open. How about one big round of applause for them?
Just official, there they are: Brianna, Rocio, Danielle, and Missy Parkin.
Begin at approximately 4:45. We'll begin their practice. So we're going to have that match will be on 40.